Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my talk show. I'm your host, Owen Rebel. This is my talk show, Late Night with Rebel, and we have our special guest here, Spork of Love. How you doing?
Oh, good. How are you?
Great. So, I have a list of questions that I wanted to ask you for this interview. And the
Mm.
first one is, how did you actually end up finding VR chat? Like, how did you end up here and playing and being in VR and everything? Like, how did you initially find this game?
One of the fans of a game that my husband and I made
Mm-hmm.
asked us to come play it with them, and we did. And that happened like once, and then a week later I joined in again, and the
Okay.
rest is history, I guess.
When was this? Like, back in like 2017, 2016? Like,
Oh, I just celebrated 2 year anniversary of starting to learn guitar in VR chat. So it was 2 years. It's been 2 years almost exactly.
okay. So sometime in like 2018
Right
then.
at the Yeah, right at the cusp of the knuckles.
Okay.
It was just starting to come down. It wasn't quite as terrifying.
Okay. Because I started in December 2017, so I started just like 2 weeks before the Knuckles was a thing. So I was kind of the like, oh
Wow.
man, what a good time. Then out of nowhere, Knuckles. You're just like, what is this? So yeah,
It's memes.
yeah, yeah.
It happens.
So tell me a little bit about your OC, your character that you have for your brand, your mascot for your channel. Like, why a cat and why is the cat wearing a space? You know what I mean? Like, what's the whole story here, if you
Why am
have
I a
one?
space hat?
Yeah.
Oh, so when I was a kitten, I dreamed of going into space.
Oh yeah.
Um, no, it's actually like the true fact is, my husband and I are game developers,
Okay.
and this this is like a third or fourth iteration on a character idea that we came up with for a stupid little jam game that took a weekend that was called A Very Special Space Cat Christmas Time or
Mhm.
something like that. And it had a space cat in an astronaut suit, and I thought it was hilarious. And this is kind of what it's evolved into.
Okay.
It started off looking terrifying, and I've gotten cuter over the years, which
That's good. It's interesting. So, what kind of games have you and your husband designed? Like any of them public or on Steam or
yeah, our first game that you can actually like find easily is Legend of Dungeon.
okay.
It's up on Steam. It's like a little roguelike. It's just the two of us made it. And we're currently working on one called Super Tony Land. And we were trying to make a game called Upsilon Circuit, but that was an absolute train wreck that we don't like talking about because it makes us sad. But yeah, those are kind of the three games that people may have heard. Oh, no worries. The opportunity to find my tea. Oops. Well, I guess I'm your entertainment now, huh? I don't know what happened to Rebel, but here I am. So chat, how are you? Welcome to my talk show. Ooh, I was a long cat there for a second. Hold on. Ooh, let me fix it so I can see the channel. I wonder what happened to Rebel. I'm guessing something happened in real life. It's fine though, it's fine. You did. So guys, I have a question for you. I don't know if Rebel ever asks the audience questions, but there's this thing I like to do on my stream where I literally I just go, what is something that you're grateful for today? And the reason I ask and I encourage real answers is because there actually have been studies that show that if you actually like, focus and think about something to be grateful for regularly, your general quality of like life, your feelings, if you will elevate, which is just awesome. Like all you have to do is go, what am I grateful for today? Today, by the way, it's that yesterday I went for a walk with my husband and he bought ice cream and I got some Cheetos and then I forgot to eat them. So I'm really grateful that I didn't eat my Cheetos yesterday because now I can eat them. And it's wonderful. Oh, Khalid, you're grateful for VR chat. Also, hi, Khalid. Oh, yeah, I know it's my talk show now. I'm gonna talk about all the cute, cuddly, fuzzly things. Did you know that baby emus run around and it's hilarious when they do? They like play and they get excited and it makes me giggle.
Really?
Oh, we're both back.
Yeah,
Welcome
sorry.
back.
I had to do something real quick. Duty
No worries.
calls, you know? Anyway,
Yeah,
what
life
were we talking
happens.
about? You said your husband and you make video
You asked
games.
about video
Yeah.
games. Yeah, yeah. Um, I I think yeah, I told you which ones they wear. But I don't know if you were already distracted by things at that point.
No, you said what the games were. So have you thought
Yeah,
about
okay.
doing like VR games?
Oh yeah. There have been multiple different like little things that we've done to play around with it. We actually played a very very tiny role in the in the original VR the original the Valve headset.
Okay,
My
yeah.
brain is blanking on what it's
Index.
called.
Valve Index.
Shipping. No, not the Index. The
Uh,
one they worked with HTC with. The Vive. The
the
Vive.
Vive.
Ah!
The
Oh,
Vive.
brain power. We played a very tiny role in the Vive shipping with handsets
Mhm.
because we did a small game jam in collaboration with a bunch of other indie devs in Boston, and Robot had purchased these little special hand controllers that weren't like it
Mhm.
wasn't something that came with the headset at the time. It was literally just the headset. And the game that we made had everyone having so much fun, and they really seemed to really like it. And I heard through the grapevine that that experience was one that influenced them a little bit
Mhm.
towards that. But like VR is not my passion; it's my husband's. Like
Okay.
he's like 90% of the game dev force, if you will. Uh,
Okay, I get you. So, what do you do if he's the force? Like, well, what do you do to help him?
we do co-design the games. Like I'll help him the design and especially things like UI, user interface, and
Mhm.
that kind of stuff, as well as like graphics and visuals. I help with. I'm not a 3D artist. He made this avatar for me. He's amazing. And he does the programming. He'll do anything that's 3D, and
Mhm.
I kind of just can tag on those little things. Other than that, I do like marketing and PR and the taxes. Yay.
Taxes. It is tax season, so
I know. What?
God, hate tax season. But anyway,
Hmm.
so how'd you like? You said you've been singing for 2 years now. Is that right? Like you've only been playing and singing for 2 years, or longer than that?
I mean, like, I grew up singing along to the radio.
Okay.
And then I came into VR chat. So I mean, I've literally sung before, but I've never like, not like this ever. This is a completely different experience. It's amazing. But 2 years. Actually, on the 11th, I think, is the complete 2 year anniversary of me
Oh,
doing all the
big
things.
celebration, you know?
Mhm. I have no idea what I'm gonna do. I want to celebrate it, but I don't know how.
Hmm. I don't know. You can do like a subathon or something. I don't know. Like a 12-hour singing jam. I don't know. Karaoke stream.
Oh my gosh, a karaoke scene. Oh no! Oops! Oh gosh!
No, don't
Fine,
worry
I'm
about it.
terrible at using VR.
That's it's fine. I'm terrible too. After all these years. So, what instrument you play? I know you play the ukulele, but do you have other instruments as well?
Mostly the guitar.
Okay.
Um, every Christmas since I've started, my mother and my grandmother have pulled together and gotten me a new instrument. So I got a ukulele last Christmas, and just this Christmas I got a banjo.
All right.
I don't know. It'll be cool to play with once I have some brain time. But
All right.
I don't know.
Get some get some real country music going on, you know what I mean?
Interesting to see if you can use a banjo for not country music.
True, that'd be the real challenge. Ever like jammed out with other people in public? So you know what I mean? Like you play like the guitar and someone else plays like a different instrument. Ever done that before?
In VR chat, yeah, but in front of actual live physical people, I'm a nervous wreck. I
Okay.
can't play guitar or sing in front of actual humans very much.
I get what you're saying. So, on your many adventures of VR chat, what would be like an embarrassing or either embarrassing or a good moment that you remember? Like, damn, this is a good day. Like, this is so much fun. This is why I want to keep playing this game every day. Or embarrassing moment, like, oh, I did something silly. Gonna laugh, laugh at myself later or something like that.
Oh God. Um, I like nothing like really silly or embarrassing comes to mind. But I do remember joining on a friend,
Mhm.
and they were just like hanging out. A bunch of people were there, and this one guy was like, "It's my birthday today,"
Mhm.
and he seemed really down about it. And so I sang him this birthday song that I had made up,
Mhm.
and I made him cry,
Oh.
and it was just so touching, and I felt both bad and like really good at the same time. Um, every time my music actually affects someone, it's something it gets kind of locked in my head.
I get what you're saying.
It's
Yeah,
wonderful.
that's good though. I mean, you're affecting people. You made that guy's day. So
He
you're doing good.
remembered it.
There you
He
go.
actually came back to me that's his last birthday, just a year later. He's like, "It's our anniversary." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
I'm married. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Don't worry. What happens in VR stays in VR. Don't tell anyone. That's why I got 151 waifus. Don't tell anyone.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I used to be a waifu hunter. Then I became a waifu. So I had to sacrifice them all to get.
Oh my gosh. Oh, is it one of those like ultimate evolution sort of things? You have to...
Yeah, of
Oh boy.
course.
Mm.
Yeah, I made Presentation Room Plus. Did you know that?
Oh, I mean, I've been there. Oh, oh, I didn't know you made it.
Yeah, I'm the one who made it in that giant friends walls. I made that too.
Mm. Yeah, yeah. I knew that. I knew that part.
And
I
then
didn't
there's
realize.
a
I
there's a
don't know.
part two. It's
You
called
gotta.
Waifu Wall on it. And if you click it, it's like me surrounded by 151 waifus.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it took me a couple months.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I became a waifu, so that's the story to tell.
But yeah, like even if it took you a couple months, like a hundred waifus even is still at least two waifus a day.
Yeah, I had to
That's
challenge
wow,
them.
wow.
I challenged every single one of them to something. I was like, if I beat you in Battle Disc, you have to become my waifu, or I beat you in chess, or I
Ah,
racing
nice.
or art contests. I made it all a challenge or something. I had to beat them in something in VR chat, and
Oh,
then
good job. That's a lot of victories.
yeah. Well, I mean, when you play like Battle Disc all the time, and you're like the only person playing Battle Disc, you kind of like get really good at it. And, like no one can defeat me.
Mm.
So it's kind of like I just get really good at like everything I was doing. So like people are like, "Oh, I can beat you Connect 4." I'm like, "No, you can't." Like
Ah!
so.
What about Guess Who?
Oh, I haven't played Guess Who in many, many years. Maybe you'll beat me in that.
Then did you become my waifu?
Sure,
Sure. It's on.
of course. Um, anyway, so
Mm.
how'd you start streaming then? Like, did you start streaming or doing YouTube? because they're inspired from other people, or did you just want to start streaming because you're told to, or like fans? You know, like how'd you end up starting to stream?
I definitely started all of that stuff because people kept telling me to. They kept
Okay.
asking me if I had a YouTube and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so I did. I was recording what I was doing anyways because I wanted to sort of see what what kind of progress I was making and where my mistakes were
Mhm.
because it's how you learn. And then I ran out of hard drive space for recording easily. Like I could only record in like very short clips, and so I was like, you know what? Twitch saves your video, and you can export that to YouTube. Why don't I
True.
just stream it? And I started streaming without the expectation of anyone ever watching me. It's pretty wild.
And here you are. You know. Oh wait, how long have you been streaming for? Like 2 years, or 1 year, or?
Yeah, a few years, almost 2 years.
Okay. Interesting. Because obviously you've hit partner recently, right? So there you go, big accomplishment, right?
Actually, I have accomplished nothing.
What do you mean?
I have a partner channel. I have a partner channel, but it's because of game dev related content that used to be on it. It was
Oh.
for this Upsilon Circuit project that we were working on. It was something that Twitch was really interested in because it involved Twitch interaction, like chat stuff. And they
Oh.
gave us a partnered channel to test on. And so, like, the channel had been dead for like almost 2 years
Mhm.
at the point where I took it over. And the whole reason I did was because, like, oh, I'd like to have an emote for myself. That'd be cute.
Well, there you go.
I'd sort of, yeah, if I could do it all over again, I'd actually prefer to be an affiliate and just try to earn my way up. It sort of feels dirty.
I mean,
I don't know.
I mean, affiliates get emotes. They get 5 emotes now if you have 50 subs, and they get
Yeah,
tier two,
yeah.
tier three subs at 7, and then you also get bit badges. So if you get 1,000, you actually can get another emote, like bit only. It's weird. It's like a new thing. Like this came out.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that. That's
yeah.
really neat.
So if someone donates 1,000 bits, then not only do they get a bit badge, but they also get bit sub or bit like emotes. It's like a special emote that you
A
have
bit
to donate.
exclusive emote.
Yeah, you have to like donate 1,000 bits. Then only people with 1,000 bits, or it's like 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 25,000, 50,000, all that stuff. So
Oh,
yeah, so you
well,
make special
neat.
emotes. Yeah, yeah, it's an interesting
That's
thing.
awesome.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. What else is there to say? I mean, you've been playing VRChat, for 2 years. Is there anything that you wanna add to VRChat in terms of like a feature, or I really wish this was in VRChat. I really wanted this to be fixed or added to the game, or changed. Anything come to mind?
Uh, the well, yeah, actually, one of the things that I would love to see is a social feature that they've kind of half implemented just recently, which is now that if you set yourself to busy, people can't join on you even if you're in a public world,
Yeah.
which is something I was asking for. Like I posted on the VR chat
Cannery.
Discord server about it
Okay.
because it what I would love to be able to have is a selection of friends who are like close friends, and then the ability to have people who want to just stop by and like see me sing in like a separate section, so that I could be like, I want to be able to just hang out with my friends, if you will, and then like the people who just are expecting me to entertain them can be separate.
I get what you're saying.
Well,
Yeah, they added the orange thing, so like it's different. Where like
mm-hmm.
uh and then they changed the red, so like if you're on Do Not Disturb, no one can join you whatsoever. Like it doesn't matter if you're in a public or not. Like you're actually private, and no one's allowed to join you unless they like randomly guess the world or something. They would have to do that.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
mm. What do you
Which is
think?
good enough for
Yeah.
me. I'm happy about that.
How do you feel about if they added like a system where they had like guilds, or like something like that, where if you were part of like the same guild, you could join each other type of vibe? Does that make
Oh,
sense? You're part
I
of the same
mean,
team.
yeah. That's kind of neat. It would be different because you'd have access to a handful of people that you haven't even met yet. So it'd be tricky in the social element of if depending on how you can get added to a group like that, you might have someone really toxic and hard to get rid of kind of stuff.
I
It's
mean,
fairly easy for them to go and harass people, but to be truthful, that's already generally the case.
I'll give an
So,
example. You would have like a guild, and let's say you're the owner of your own guild, whatever it's called, the cats or whatever. And
hmm
you invite people who are on your friends list to your guild, and when they're part of your guild, they can join you like anytime, because you like really trust them. You know what I mean? Like your like core group of friends or whatever.
yeah,
And then
yeah, like an inner circle. I
yeah,
like
and
that.
then maybe you can take it a step further, and let's say like if you know how you spawn in VRChat for the first time, you're usually in your home world or something, right? Like, what if you could have like a hub for your guild? So like any of your guild members can they spawn in the same spawn. Like when you boot up for the first time, instead of being by yourself, you're actually spawning in with like five other
Oh,
guild members. You're like, oh
a
hey, what's up,
shared
dude?
world.
Yeah, a
Oh, I
shared
love
home
that. That
world.
would be awesome. Yeah, I
Yeah,
like that
that's
idea.
one idea I want
Yeah.
implemented in VRChat because when I started playing VRChat, um, you would spawn into a public instance at the hub. That's how it was, and obviously they
I
removed that
remember that.
feature a long time ago, and now you spawn into your own homeworld that either you made or you set into your home or whatever. And I mean, I understand the reason why it is because of toxicity and bad people that run up to you in publics and stuff like that, right when you boot up the game for the first time. But it always
Yeah.
feels kind of empty when like you spawn into the first time and then like you're in your home world but you're by yourself. And then you have to look for your friends list and be like, oh, who's online? And you have to sit there and request. I think it'd be really interesting
Yeah.
if you had a shared home with like really really trustworthy people that like you are like really good close friends with that you spawn into the same home world. And then you just like imagine you just booting up the game
Yeah.
for the first time and your friend Bill's there. He's like, oh hey Billy, what's up, dude? What's you want to go somewhere? Like I think that's like a much different dynamic than everyone spawning by themselves, independent, and then they're like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." But if you have your friends spawn in like same time as you, you're like, "Oh, hey, what's up, guys?" And I have like a shared house. Imagine
Yeah.
like you had a shared house for like I don't know, like maybe it's like a mansion, and like each person has their own room or something. Like it'd be interesting. We could do.
Yeah. Even if it was simpler than that, just
Yeah.
the idea of not starting out alone is just a really nice one because it is kind of there is this weird like isolating feeling
Mhm.
when you first load in. You're like, oh, what am I? Unless you're like literally loading in to do something in particular, there's like this kind of moment of where you're kind of just lost and alone. And be
Yeah.
and who
Like
knows? You might load up into that guild world and like everyone's having a blast and you don't even want to leave. Oh,
yeah.
instant good time.
Another, I just thought of this. Another like, so when you first boot up your chat, you could either click, yeah, it'd be in the loading menu. So like, you either it'll say like guild home or you go to your home. And when you go to your home, you're completely isolated by yourself. But if you click like guild home, then you join with all the other players that have the shared house. So then you can choose if you wanted to be alone or not. And then when you click like go home,
Yeah.
they can say either your home or your guild home, and then like that's another way to like meet up with your friends because you're like, oh, hey guys, I'm gonna go to some Publix. I'll see you guys in like 2 hours. And then instead of just going home, you could be like,
Right.
all right, I'll just go to my guild home. You go back to your guild home. Oh, there's like five people sitting there. Like, oh, hey, what's up, guys? I'm back from 2 hours of exploring Publix or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I,
Yeah.
I
Oh,
think
that sounds
it's yeah,
awesome.
because you can have like a lot of different dynamics, right? You can have like guilds of like I don't know whatever people. You can have like a guild of like just your fans, your viewers, a guild of um, streamer friends or a streamer lobby or whatever, or musicians or RP lobby or something. Like the way I would say it is like you can only be an owner of one guild, but you can join other guilds. But you still a part, you know what I mean? Like you're sort of like
Yeah.
flagged, so you can have like 10 different guild homes. You just have to like select which one you want to like go to. So you can have different groups of like shared worlds, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah. No, no, that does make sense. It would be a little tricky navigating the menu, but if you had like
yeah.
a primary guild
Yeah, yeah,
that
yeah.
you'd set, it would just default to those and you could like cycle through them somehow.
Or it
Wouldn't be
would,
too hard.
or you just have like only your main primary guild in the home menu, and then if you want to go to your other guilds, you have to go to the actual menu, then go to worlds, then go to guild worlds, and then it's there or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's a little more. so it's not like clustered all in one area.
Neat.
Yeah. Yeah, it's one big brain idea I had.
I
Uh,
like it. That does
yeah.
sound neat.
Yeah, because I just feel like there's a lot of isolation in VR chat, and I just feel like having just spawning in and seeing another person is like 100 times better, like experience. So maybe it'll get implemented one day. Pixels, what are those? Oh yeah, my stream dies sometimes, the bitrate. Don't worry about it. It takes a couple. I'm talking to the chat. Don't worry about it. It takes like a minute or two.
Mhm.
My bitrate goes back up. It's just the internet like flickers for a second and just like dies. Whoa. You saw that? My full body died for a
The
second.
monster tried to take you. I have
Yeah.
this theory. Everybody with hip trackers is being, um, they're being stalked by this invisible monster that just
Mhm.
tries to steal their hips from them
Mm.
and drag them off into the darkness.
Okay.
It's scary. VR chat's haunted.
True. We should actually write like a story about it, you know? I believe it. Are you related to Mr. Whiskers? No?
I mean, we're probably like distant cousins or something, but like,
Oh, okay.
it's definitely like once or twice removed at least, because I don't never talk to him.
I wish
Certainly
there
don't know anything about him. Nope,
I wish
nope.
there was more Mr. Whiskers events or like something new, you know what I mean? Like another type of like
Mmm.
uh it's like run by the
Big
devs
mystery stuff.
and world creators. It'd just be like a collaboration. It was
Yeah,
fun.
it's really neat to see that happening.
Mhm.
Yeah, what?
Maybe in the future, we'll see. So, what is something you wish you would have known when you first started VR chat? Like something you didn't know at the time, but you wish that you knew now, or like back then. You know what I mean? Like you didn't know how to do something, but now you're an expert at it.
Oh gosh. I mean, oh, I honestly, I don't have anything like that I wish I knew then that I know now. I just have a bunch of things that I wish I still knew.
Okay.
I, um, yeah, I don't know. Uh, I have so much to learn music wise and singing wise, and just, I don't know. Life's a learning experience, my friend.
True.
Pretty
The,
crazy.
the one thing that's incredible, I always tell, is that every human on this planet, as far as I'm aware of, has the same one similar ability, and that is no matter what you do, if you keep doing it, you get better at it. You typically, unless you're,
Yeah.
really bad. But I think most people, if repetition is always a way to like master something. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's cooking, it's fishing, it's swimming, working out, whatever it is. If you keep practicing
Mm,
it, you'll get better at it, and that's typically, I think, majority of humans have that trait. You know?
it's a nice feature.
Yeah, it's like we're all like RPG characters, and we have that as like our passive ability.
Oh,
Repetition.
it's one of those RPGs where you level up stuff by doing it.
Yeah,
Hey, yeah, I could
exactly.
go fishing to level up that fishing skill.
Yeah. What was the what was the first thing you ever did when you got VR? Like for the very first time, like you just put on the headset, you're like, "Oh my God, I can move my hands."
Um, gosh. Well, the first time in VR chat, I totally gave people head pats. I ran around and gave all my
That's
friends
wholesome.
head pats. uh, but the absolute first thing that I did in VR, I don't even remember. It was we actually backed the original Oculus Rift,
Okay.
and I think the first thing I did was some sort of weird. I want to say it was like a underwater thing, and there was like a giant whale. It was like just one of the little demos that you could play, kind of.
Okay. Uh, it's an
It's
interesting
actually.
question. Sorry, my phone's ringing. Don't worry about it. It's,
Oh,
it's,
no
it's
worries.
it's just the IRS, dude. They're like, Give me your money, bro."
Ah, no.
No. Anyway, when I first started playing VR, when I first had VR, like I almost cried. I'm not even joking. Like, it's because I never thought I would ever like my life put on a headset and be like, whoa, I'm in like VR. I'm actually in a video game. I always dreamed as a kid. I was just like, wow, it'd be cool to like,
Mm,
be Master Chief and actually like do things or whatever, like
yeah.
whatever game it was. I was just like, oh, that'd be really cool if that was real. And it's like when I put on the headset and I loaded into VR chat, I was like, oh my god, like I almost cried because I was just like, I'm in the VR.
Mm,
I'm in the anime. I'm literally a
you're
character.
in the
I'm
game.
in the
Yeah.
game. So yeah, the devs are
One
calling.
of the things one of the things that I find really interesting about VR and just in general is how impossible it is to explain the experience to someone who's never tried VR.
Hmm.
Like there's just no way.
Exactly.
It's just yeah, there's like what you can imagine and then there's what it actually feels like. And I think VR is at a disadvantage because of that, because you can't just imagine a slightly better screen because it's not. It's like the world has become, I'm literally sitting in your world right now. You know,
Exactly.
taking off this headset right now would be jarring and strange. You know,
Yeah.
it's very interesting stuff.
I did you have this? It's very similar. I know what like the official name for it is, but it's like a condition you get where when you first put on VR and you take it off and you look at your hands don't feel real like your real hands. I call it like my not in my hand syndrome. I don't know if you've ever experienced that.
I don't think I ever have. No.
Really?
In general, I don't use VR very often.
Okay.
I because when I'm playing guitar, since I'm still a beginner, I can't
Mhm.
really play it blindfolded,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like that's asking a little much. but uh, but I started more recently because I've been trying to learn sign language
Okay, yeah.
instead of VR.
Mhm.
I love languages in general, and the fact that I can learn one in a video game just so cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, but it is interesting how much these feel like my hands, even though one of them is slowly trying to run away from me right now. You know, they really it really does feel like my hands.
Yeah, because the reason why I asked that very particular question is because it's something that a lot of people write on like Reddit and like forums and stuff. Like it's something that you cannot explain to another human being unless they have it. And it was the most weirdest experience. I don't know how to
Mm.
describe it. It's like your hands don't feel real. Like your actual real hands feel fake, and like they feel like slow and like weird. And
Oh,
it only happened to me 2 years ago when I first got VR, and it never happened again ever. Like it's just
Huh,
like a syndrome you get for like a few days and it's gone forever. So
that's fascinating.
yeah, it's really weird because like every time I was trying to type on a keyboard, I was like, why do my hands feel weird? Like they don't look real. I'm like, what's going on? Am I going crazy? Am I getting absorbed into the matrix? Like what's going on?
How can my typing be real if my hands aren't real?
Exactly. Alien Mind says
Mm-hmm.
they need to make a VR con, but it's actually in VR.
Oh,
I mean, technically the virtual
that
market is kind of like that.
yeah. The biggest trouble is really supporting a whole bunch of people in one world. Sort of impossible.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the most you can ever support is I think 80 players max, but you can barely get
That's
like
pushing
20.
it.
You can barely get like 20 in a world. What do you mean? But
If you force people into like a little cardboard avatar, it's like
yeah.
one poly
Oh yeah.
and like no shaders, maybe, but even then that'd be tricky.
The most amount of play I've ever had was actually this New Year's, 2020. Um,
Oh yeah?
I have a really good computer, and on the Times Square map, we had 74 people in the world, but they weren't all in the same area. They're all just sort of split around. But it has 70. I counted it. I streamed it. I counted 74 people in the Times Square map that I was in the instance, and I had like 25 FPS. So I was barely chuggling around, but I managed somehow of having 70 plus people in the world. So I was like, oh my god, I'm never gonna experience this ever again. And
Nice.
it actually, the sad reality is you'll probably never see that like ever again. Like having that amount
Yeah,
of people felt like an actual like I was in a bar or like a crowded place or something. Like I could like hop one what do you call it, like one group of people to the next, and like I could sit there for 6 hours and meet someone. Like there's just so many
right.
people.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, maybe one day as I'm vibrating. This is my hip tracker. It's going haywire.
Mm,
Um,
so good.
what kind of advice would you give to someone who's first starting VR chat like today?
Advice? Um, I would show them how to block and mute people and
Okay.
remind them that they're playing the game with other people who have
Yeah.
feelings.
True.
Because I think a lot of people forget that. Like they run around and they're really like toxic, so to speak. and they forget that they're actually dealing with real people. And
Mhm.
you know, be nice to people.
Yeah.
You have the power. You have the power to make someone's day with a compliment, people. Like seriously. If you're nice, you
True.
have so much power.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's funny that you say like blocking and unmuting people or muting people. I mean, it's kind of true though. Like you have to like teach people how to do everything. Like there's, I mean, there are like little tutorials, but I feel like they're not really that good. And I feel like the only way to really learn, like how I learned, was talking to other people. They'd teach me. Like back then when I played, there wasn't really any
Mm-hmm.
malicious people. So like everybody was very open to like, hey, oh, this is how you make a portal, or this is how you find
Yeah.
avatars. This is how you block someone. This is how you friend request someone, and stuff like that. Like how to make a private world or whatever. And it was all from players. They're
Mm-hmm.
just like, "Oh, hey, dude. Oh, I found this really cool avatar. Hey, come with me." And it's never like they never tricked me or anything like that. They never were secretly
Oh,
mean
that's
or anything.
awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. This.
Whenever I find out that it's like their first day in VR chat, I improv a little song and tell them, and like I try to teach them something about VR chat
Mm,
and that kind of stuff because it's an awesome place if you find the right people to be around. I think
exactly.
like wandering around in public worlds is one of my favorite things to do,
Hmm.
but at the same time, it shouldn't be the only thing you do.
Yeah. Agreed. I do feel that for me, I don't really go to Publix anymore. It's just I can't. I just can't deal with the toxicity anymore. I just focus on my friends because I have so many friends I have, like 1,300 now in VR chat, so I kind of can just hop around friends' worlds and be fine and stuff. But I do want to meet
Yeah.
new people, right? I don't want to like just lock myself to like the same people every day. I do want to see other people. It's a little more difficult. But maybe in the future when Unity 2018 and the security gets updated, I'll return.
Mm.
So
That'd be nice. I'm all for that too.
yeah, same.
Can we please have it so that people can't like crash us and all the rude things they do?
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready. So ready.
Agreed. This person is too nice for this game. They calling you're too wholesome for VR chat. You're too innocent. You have to be corrupted.
No! No! I'm not. No, it's impossible. I can't be too wholesome. It's just me. Just like you can't be like too rebel. I can't be too sport.
True.
And just because this game has a certain angle that it sort of goes along doesn't mean I can't be some sort of weird exception. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, that's why
I
my
don't mind
name's
being a freak.
that's why I play VR chat. You know, my name's That One Rebel. I do a talk show and I look like this. No, I mean, I plan on getting that business outfit. Okay, it's happening soon. All right, don't worry about it. This is for roleplay. Uh, Callus Row, if you know who Arcanum is.
Oh, Callus Row. How fun. I've had a couple people suggest that I try being in one of the RPs that's around, but
Mm-hmm.
I haven't figured out if I'd want to do that even or not. I play D&D and I have so much fun playing the characters there. But
It's
I've
like
never actually just done an RP.
It's like D&D but VR chat edition because Arcadum, he actually runs it and his like actual career, like in real life, is being a D&D like GM. So,
Oh my god, I've met him. I sat and had
yeah.
a conversation with him at PAX once. I forgot that was his name. It was Arcanum.
Yeah.
We talked about like we each showed each other cat pictures and we talked and oh my god. That's so funny. I completely forgot about that.
Yeah, he runs
He had a really cool jacket.
yeah, he runs Callus Row. He's the leader of it. So,
Oh no way. I
yeah.
didn't even know he played VR chat. I'd love to meet him sometime. just to be like the dork, like, hey, remember like 3 years ago at PAX East?
I mean, you can always hit him up in the DMs and be like, "Hey, man, remember me? I'm that
Yeah, that's
cat."
true. He won't. I didn't remember him until just now, so I'm sure he doesn't remember me.
Well, he might. You never know. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take, you
Oops,
know?
that's true. That is very true.
Oh, the demons.
Oh, another monster! Did anyone see it?
No, the camera's on you, but yeah, I mean, if you want to get into role play, there's a lot of different communities. There's Ascension Academy, there's
Mm,
Kalos Row, there's Pathfinders run by Ribbonheart, there's Purple Lotus, Curry Games, this is
yeah, there's
detective stuff. There's a lot of role
there's
play.
a lot. That's
Improv, there's
awesome.
VRChat Improv.
Yeah. I remember hearing an interview from Gunter's Universe. I don't know if you've ever watched that.
I know of
Uh,
him, yeah.
he
Uh,
talked with a bunch of the improv community like a while ago. Pretty neat stuff.
Does he still do that interview stuff?
I don't know. I haven't seen Gunter in a long time.
I guess I took his job then. He's probably just busy, right? Because
He's busy,
he's
he's
one of the
busy.
devs, right? So he's probably busy. So
Mm.
that
It's
show
easy
is
to get too
age.
busy.
True. I mean, just the way it is. I mean, my whole thing is just doing a talk show nowadays. I used to do a lot of different things in VR chat. Nowadays, it's just a talk
Mm.
show. So just chill, you know. But I have big plans.
Yeah,
When I
I
get my
like it.
yeah, when I get my new talk show world, if you think this is good, the next one's gonna look 10,000 times better.
I'm excited.
Rebel
So
should
if you ever
invite
start having
Arcadum right
musical
now.
guests,
Let me see. Let me see if Arcanum's
uh,
on right now. What if I just make him appear like right now? I'd be like,
special
oh hey,
guest,
he comes out of nowhere. Oh hey, what's up?
Luigi.
No, I'm pretty sure he's streaming or busy doing D&D or something. Yeah, he's not on right now. I mean, if you want to,
Good. I'm
you
not
could.
mentally prepared.
You could be in Kalos Row. You have to make a whole character for it, just like D&D. You make up a whole character backstory
Oh
and
yeah.
everything. And Kalos Row is like kind of cyberpunky. There's I play a mechanic. That's why I look like this. I know. What kind of
Oh,
mechanic
gotcha.
looks like this? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about
Yeah, don't
it.
worry about
That's fair.
it. Yeah.
That would be kind of fun. I might. I think Callister is just once a week, right?
Yeah, every Friday. We just had a episode
Mm.
yesterday, so every Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We have about, I think, 40 to 60 players that are in one world, and the whole map is made
Oh,
from scratch and just for Calistro. It's not a public world. Yeah,
that sounds like chaos.
well, funny you say that when yeah people die in the role play, and it's permanent death.
Oh
So
no.
if you die, you're done. So you have to make a new character.
No, that's awesome though. I love it.
Yep, and then you have graves, and you're like, yep, this is this guy. He died, and you're like, oh man. And then you gotta realize all the impact of like that character after their death.
Right.
So
Oh, how interesting.
yeah,
I find role play is basically just acting and improv combined,
true.
and
Yeah.
people don't realize this half the time. And I love like when I play D&D, which is my only experience in that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
It's always so much fun to kind of have this mindset of, well, what would I do as this person? And
Mhm.
with the information that they have, even it's just I don't know, the creativity and like the world building that you get to be like collectively doing is just fascinating to me.
Mhm. Yeah. I never actually played D&D before, but I want to. I just don't have the time.
Oh,
I
that's
got
fair. That's
college, I got streaming, got this talk show. I got a lot on my
Mm-hmm.
plate. So, but I like to some point in
Yeah.
time in my life, my 60 years left or whatever it is. I like
Mm-hmm.
to, at least do a campaign or two or something, just to experience it. I think there's people that stream D&D, like Arcadum, that's what he does, and
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be easier to do that rather than like the real version where you have to like meet up at some person's house and then like get everything set up. Because you can play like tabletop simulator where it's like all set up for you, like you just you know.
That's true.
So
Although, I mean, I've done both. Right
okay.
now, we have a group that meets like in person.
Mhm.
We somehow miraculously in the absolutely tiny town that we live in, we actually found like 9 people, and we all play this massive game every Monday all
Nice.
together, and it is so much fun. The ability to like instantly like riff off of each other and stuff like that is so good. And one downside with playing online is that there's this delay and it gets really tricky and it's just a
Mm.
little more
Personal.
it's yeah, it's not quite as easy to flow, but it is still fun.
I get you.
So.
How involved do you get? Do you like make up like character voices and like?
So on Mondays, I used to play as this tiny little gnome thief named Ned who was really sociable and murdery.
Oh,
Um, but but I switched characters. I sent her off on a weird quest somewhere, and I became an absolute joke of a character, and I love it. So his name's Brad, and he's like kind of like searching for himself, even though he's like totally middle aged, and he's like just dropped out of Bard College, and he just, well, I don't know, like, he's a hero.
sounds like one of those surfer guys from like California or something. Yeah.
The way I describe him visually is it's like a windswept surfer boy version of Nicolas Cage.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
sociable and
terrible. I love
murdery.
him.
Yes. So very
He's
sociable and
the whole
murdery. Yeah.
well, the
That was Ned.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was my little gnome. That was Ned. Yeah, but Brad is like technically all of our characters at this point. We've been playing this same campaign for
Hmm.
almost 3 years. Um,
What? That's
and
crazy.
yeah, and we're level like 13 now. But Brad is a special boy, and he has commitment issues, and he has managed to not get past level 3 in anything.
So
He's a
basically,
mess.
yeah. So
I
basically,
love him.
you're just like they have to babysit you basically.
Kind of, yeah. So far, he hasn't died. I earnestly expected him to die within the first couple of weeks. That was the point, actually. I was sending him in there to die. It was going to be a joke. He was going to annoy everybody, and somehow he's been alive for like 4 months.
Damn.
Who knows?
Lucky.
Anyhow, I can nerd out about like all acting and
Hmm.
the improv and RP stuff for a long time.
I get you.
I will be quiet.
Yeah. Don't worry about it. So what's something you miss about VR chat in the old days? Besides, like, I guess we talked about like Publix and stuff like that. But like, is there something that like maybe something else you missed that like, oh, I wish this was so cool back then, but now it doesn't really happen anymore.
I feel like the way people navigate worlds and stuff is different. Like a lot of people now avoid public worlds, and it's actually really sad to me.
Hmm.
I love having like a wide variety of people coming in through a world. I'll like sit at the doors of places that kind of have like little greeting stations,
Oh
like the
yeah.
Black Cat or the Pug,
Yeah.
or La Barista. And I'll just sing a little greeting song to people when they come in. And for a while now, it's almost always all like new people, like with like visitor level
Yeah. Rank.
badges,
Yeah.
kind of like
Hmm.
it's just unbalanced, and I think it's really a shame because that leaves like all the well-adjusted people kind of in their own little bubble. And I don't know.
I get what you're saying. I do think that majority of people that are like probably the higher ranks, like you and I, like trusted, um, they are probably typically going to stay in like private worlds or friends worlds because they already have their established friend. Because to get like trusted, you have to like play this game for at least probably several hundred hours, if not more. And at that point, you probably already have like I'm hoping you have friends, right? At that point, I mean that would suck if you had
Mm,
zero friends. But I think
mm,
a lot of those people have like their core group of friends, relationships, or whatever. And once you get to
yeah.
that point, it's like, why should I go to a public if I'm like, if you had a choice, right? If you had pick one or the other. It was either you hang with your friends and you know you're gonna have a good time, or you go to Publix and you don't know if you're gonna have a good time. It might be a bad experience, and the stigma of
Mm.
all this stuff you see on Twitter and Reddit and all this stuff like this negativity and all this stuff. Like, why would you risk going to public and having a negative experience if you're like, if I just hang with my friends, I'll have a good time usually. So I think that's the most
Yeah,
like majority thought that people probably go for because like, I'll just hang with my friends
that makes
because
sense.
yeah, that's the way I
Yeah,
look at it.
it's comfortable and yeah, no, that's true. I guess I'm a bit of a weirdo in the sense that I have trouble hanging out with people. I'm not antisocial. I love hanging out with people, but I'm like weirdly bad at it. If that
Commitment
makes
issues, I
sense.
don't know.
Well, no, it's not commitment issues. I always get kind of like this. I don't know, like I don't know what to say. It's like you get those awkward moments, and I'm just like in my head.
Well,
uh, which is
you
one of
could
the reasons why I like playing the guitar so much. Is that
it
like
could be like
people hold me close.
I give an example. Sometimes it's if you see the same person every day, it kind of gets boring after a while. But if you see the same if you see if you only see that person like once a week, then it makes it more worthwhile because you have things to talk about, right? Because it's like it's been a week. There's a lot of
Yeah.
stuff that happens in a week. But if you see the same person every single day, you're not gonna really have a lot of meaningful conversations after a while because it's just gonna be like, oh hi, what's up? Like you already there's not much to talk about. So,
Yeah.
for example, I go to Nickel Nights every Friday, run by Landfear and Oathmeal, and I literally sometimes I don't see those people for like a week or a couple weeks, and I have lots of things to talk about. But if I saw them every single day, uh, eventually it's just gonna be like having an awkward conversation about like like so.
Well, see, I start there though. It's always awkward. I don't
Oh,
know. I'm like, it was like, hey, how are you? And they're like, good. And I'm like, good.
I don't know. I just there's always stuff to talk about with VR chat. You can always talk about the game or what you're doing or something.
Yeah,
I guess it just
yeah,
depends on who
it's
you are,
true.
right? For me, I can talk
Yeah.
about many different things for hours and hours and hours. That's why I run a talk show. So,
I I think it's different for me if it's just one on one. Then
mhm.
I can like talk forever about something. We'll find something we can talk about it. We can
Okay.
whatever. I'm so down for like all kinds of weird conversations.
Mhm.
But it's just like if there's like a bunch of stuff going on, I can't. I just my brain
So,
just can't handle it. I think
so you mean like you're not like the party type? Like you don't go to like a party of like 40 people and like do well
I'm
and
not good at that.
okay.
Well, I can be good at that. It depends on depends on what's actually going on. Like I don't
Yeah,
know,
I get what you're
confusing.
saying. You ever drink in VR, chat?
I don't really like alcohol,
Okay.
so I haven't been drunk in VR chat ever.
Okay.
I've seen and talked to many drunk people in VR
All
chat
right.
though.
I was just asking because it's almost like a pastime. It's like every week that someone gets drunk in VR chat and like just
Oh
you know.
my gosh.
So I was about to
That's
say,
funny.
if you're having problems, you can just liquor up a little bit and be like, oh hey, what's going
Yeah.
on? I don't know. Some other
Well, I
people do
think
that.
mm, well, I have this. I think it probably all stems back to the one issue that I struggle with about myself, which is this weirdly like the way it kind of boils down to is I have this background feeling that I need to apologize that I exist, like in everything. It's weird, but like I always feel like when I'm jumping into a world and I'm playing songs, I always feel like I'm interrupting, like
Hmm.
I'm being a bother, that kind of a feeling. And so like there's this part of me when someone's talking to me, even if I adore them and I know that they like me, I'm always like, oh no, am I like did they hate this right now? Have I trapped them? That kind of thing. So that's a me thing. I definitely have to work on because
Mm,
I'm not socially anxious around people in general. It's more just like I feel like I'm pulling them away from other things they want or something. I don't know.
I see you, man. I get what you're saying. You feel like you're being a bother, but that's just like your brain is telling you, like that, like a voice in the back of your head's like, oh, I'm annoying this person. but you're not. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I get what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah. It's hard to just get that part of your brain to be
Yeah.
quiet.
Like, shut up.
But oh well.
Just let me do my thing. That goes away when you get older. I mean, I guess it depends, right?
Maybe. I hope so.
Maybe.
I'd love it if all my imperfections went away as I got older. It'd be great.
True.
Maybe when I'm 90, I'll be perfect.
Maybe. Still be in VR chat. Just like I'm in my bed. Put me in VR, Sonny. I'm like, oh, I'm back. I'm a cat again. Oh yes, I remember this.
No, if I'm 90, I'm gonna have like the most like sexy avatar. And I'll be like,
Oh
oh,
hell.
hello, sweetie. Ah.
They gave me some creepy memories.
Say
I
inappropriate things and oh
oh my
no,
god.
really?
No, I meant no. I think it'd be hilarious if there was actually a senior citizen, like a 65-year-old man or woman, who had VR and she played VR chat, man or woman, and in real life, they're like a raisin, but like in VR, they'd be like the most like a beautiful avatar ever created. You know what I mean? And then like you just see what they really look
Like a
like.
goddess.
Yeah, and then you see what they really like. Oh, it's a raisin. What the heck? A literally raisin. I think the oldest person I ever talked to in VR chat, I think it was like 50 or 60, and he was telling me about how like I think he said like, he was in like the Vietnam War or something. He was just like, yeah, he's like I served my time, and I was like, what are you doing in VR chat? He's like, oh, my grandson got this for Christmas. I wanted to try. I was like, all right, sure,
That's awesome. Yeah, why not?
yeah, why not? I don't know. I don't really see any too many old people. Usually people in VR chat like what 20 or something, probably younger.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes there's some
It is
30-year-olds,
interesting though.
Mhm.
I came to this revelation, and it's sort of scary,
Okay.
which is that what we are doing and what we enjoy right now,
Mhm.
as like the youth, if you will, right? When you're young, it's not like you get old and you stop liking the things you used to like.
True.
Like we're gonna be gamers when we're 80, Revel,
True.
right?
Yeah.
I realized it when I was baking a batch of cookies, and I've always loved baking cookies since I was like young. And I suddenly realized, oh, I'm a future old lady that gives people cookies.
Yeah. It's
It's not like you wake
yeah.
up at 65 and start baking cookies,
I mean, some
you
people do,
know?
but I
Well,
think you're right though, because like what you like to do, it's something that you're always gonna be a part of. Like that's why it's the same thing for a lot of like senior citizens, right? A lot of them like listen to music like the Beatles and like 50s and 60s music, but that was their childhood. They're not gonna like suddenly stop and be like, I'm gonna suddenly like this type of music or whatever. It's something that's just ingrained in
right.
you. So if you like to swim or dance or whatever, it's something that's going to be part of your life until, you can't do it anymore, but it's always going to be a thing.
Yeah,
So we're part of the generation of gamers, so we're going to be playing games when we're 60 or 70 years old. The thing is, though, we're going to be talking
for
about like
sure.
back in PS1, that was whoo-wee. They're like
Yeah.
PS1, dude. We're in PS20, dude. Like, get the times, old man. I'm like, okay, dude.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I played Minecraft back before it was an augmented reality.
Exactly. God,
Yeah.
these conversations are
Yeah.
gonna actually happen. I played what's it? I played Fortnite. It's like what?
Yeah.
You
It's
know,
gonna be weird.
we're gonna be the boomers of VR. You know that, right?
Hey.
They're gonna be like, they're like, old man, you only had a headset and hands and some leg trackers, bro. We're literally you go into cryo sleep and you're downloaded into the Matrix, bro. We're like, okay,
It's
dude.
just though, like honestly, I would install USB into my head. That's cool with me.
Okay.
Heck yeah. Load me in. I'm ready.
And then you wake up from the Matrix and your brain is being harvested for energy.
Wait, what?
What?
This got dark really fast.
Well, that's the plot of Matrix.
No.
Your body's being used for energy.
Did you know that they actually they had to change the reason why all the people were being stored. Originally, it was supposed to be for computing power. It was
Okay.
supposed to be computational, and then like the producers or something were like, "Hey, no, nobody normal is going to understand that."
Yeah, what are computers?
Unfortunate.
I get what you're saying. I played GoldenEye when it was released that Christmas with my brothers. Oh my goodness, that's a long time ago.
How old is GoldenEye?
Um,
I don't
quick
even
so
know
in the
what that
chat.
is.
You don't know what GoldenEye is? It's on N64.
I mean, like I know it's. Oh, it's for Nintendo 64. Oh.
Yeah, really old game.
Oh.
It was like the first, or people arguably say it's like one of the first like first-person shooters, like really revolutionized the time, but like really old. You got a new
Yeah, I
avatar.
should have dressed up for the interview. Sorry.
That's fine. I mean, look at me.
You're dressed up.
I guess. August 25th, 1997 was when it was released.
97.
I was 2 years old. I was born in
Wow.
1995.
97. It's 20. It's like over 20 years old.
What, the game? It was 23.
The game, yeah. That's so weird. So weird how long video games have existed for.
Well, yeah, you
And yet
gotta.
we're still like
Here's the sad
it's
reality.
still like the Wild West.
The
Mhm.
PlayStation 4 came out 20 years ago. Or PlayStation 2, I mean.
PlayStation 4?
I said,
Oh, okay.
I mean
I
the
was
2.
like,
I'm my
wait,
bad.
what?
Yeah, it came out 20 years ago. We're actually in 2040 now.
Yeah, wow. Oh man, I didn't know this show was that long. You've been streaming live this interview for 20 years.
Wake up. You've been in here for 20.
What year is it?
Here's an interesting question I just thought of. What would be one game you want to be trapped inside, like forever? Like if you're just stuck in a video game forever, would it be VR chat or would it be something else?
Ooh. Well, I would definitely not want it to be anything like Stardew Valley or one of those games that's
Just
like
farming.
work simulator. Right? You'd just be like farming all the time. It'd be
Oh
horrible.
god. These NPCs, they don't want to talk to me. They just want to talk about farming all day.
I think VR chats would be this would be a great place to get stuck in. Because there's all sorts of worlds filled with tasty food, and there's chill places, there's fun places. It's like a giant adventure theme park. It would not be bad.
True. That's what I think a lot of people say nowadays. Is like if they were stuck in a video game, it probably would be VR chat. I think another good one is like any MMO, like Final Fantasy 14 or whatever the online one is called. I think it's 14, right? And World of Warcraft is another good one.
I wonder, like, if it would depend on if there were other people in the game or not. Like, if you're completely alone,
Oh
playing a game
yeah.
that's primarily social like this might be really horrible. Maybe something like Universe Sandbox, if you're like literally isolated, would be really neat. Or, oh gosh, or like Spore.
Talking to NPCs all day.
Weird like, yeah, oh gosh, yeah, I don't know.
Animal Crossing. Oh my god.
Oh,
Stuck in
that's
debt.
Sort of also a bit of a grind, isn't it? Yeah, exactly.
I'm in debt. I'm stuck in this game, and I have to give this guy 90,000 bells. Like, what the heck? I'm already in debt.
Oh, yeah.
What about one game you don't want to be trapped in? So the opposite.
Any first-person game, other than VR Chat's an exception. Any first-person game, because they make me have migraine, which sucks.
Oh, okay.
So I would just be living in eternal migraine, and that sounds like
You want to be a horror to live into? Live in the Half-Life universe. You just have to live the Combine, like constantly chasing after you every day.
Oh my gosh.
Oof.
Yeah, all those anything with heavy combat would just not be a fun.
You just die. You just be like, oh, I'm dead now. I guess I just survived for like 5
Yeah.
minutes.
Right? PUBG. Yeah, no.
Half-Life or
No.
Halo universe, you just get attacked by the Covenant. You're like, I'm just a simple farmer out of
Right.
nowhere. Drop ships. What the heck?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, or Alien Isolation, that would also be horrible.
Oh God.
Scary games would be the worst. Um
Trapped in Ark with all the dinosaurs. Just like, oh my God.
Yeah, that'd be pretty bad. That'd be horrible. There's a lot of really horrible games. There's
But
other games. What's like a seemingly like lighthearted fun game that would be horrible to be trapped in? That's where we gotta find. That's where the gold is.
seemingly harmful, harmless game.
Yeah.
Barbie's Dream House game or something. He's trapped in Barbie's universe. Undertale, Slime Rancher, Pokemon.
Mm. Slime Rancher. Yeah, that's another farming game basically, except your
Entitled
crops
Goose Game.
can hurt you.
Just be a goose and just chase people.
That sounds kind of nice. Last night I tried playing the game, and it gave me that weird motion sickness that I usually only get with first person games. But
Weird.
So I was like, yeah, I was like, I'll just sing some songs and press the honk button, cause you're a goose, you can honk. And so I pressed the honk button to like censor my songs for me. It was really fun.
Minecraft would be scary. What if you're trapped in
Oh
a
yeah,
game
that's
that
true.
had no cats?
Oh, that'd be sad.
Only dogs
Mm.
allowed.
Well, I mean, dogs are cute and wonderful too.
True.
But if it's only
Flash
cats
games?
and dogs, like what about all the other food
What
things?
if you're trapped in those like really
Flash
crappy flash games where it's just like you play
Oh
pool
my
all day or
gosh.
something or bowling and that was
Oh
it?
no.
Oh my God, like, terrible.
Oh man.
But I think
Or like, oh
VRChat,
my gosh, could you imagine
yeah.
like Super Meat Boy
Oh my God,
or like The Binding of Isaac?
Jesus. I think I think
Dune.
VRChat might be the better choice because like if I was trapped in this game, I can still build things. I can still build my own avatars, build my own worlds. So I can make my own. Like my imagination is limitless, and you can technically play other games. I could play D&D in
Well,
this or whatever you wanted. Now, granted, if I wasn't a social person like I am, if I was like antisocial or didn't have any friends, then yeah, it would be like a nightmare. Cause just like, oh my God, I can't talk to anybody. I just like be the guy crying in the corner all the time or something. But because I'm,
yeah.
not like that, I think I'd be okay. If I was like physically stuck and like I couldn't like I'm actually in the game and I have to sleep in VR chat and everything. I think I would do okay, you know?
Yeah,
The
I
wor-
think there's definitely the fact that you have so much control over what your environment is like
yeah,
here in VR chat gives it a big advantage.
you're stuck in Tetris, endlessly dodging falling blocks. Oh
Oh,
God.
yikes.
All right, we'll start taking questions from the chat by the way, because we've been going for basically an hour now.
Oh,
So anybody have any
okay.
questions for Spork or I? Let us know.
Yes. Hmm. I know lots of things, and I half know even more things.
Oh yeah. How
Mhm.
tall are you?
How tall am
Yeah, that's
I?
what it
Like,
says.
5'8", 9-ish. Yeah, kind
That's
of on the tall side.
yeah,
Might
that's
vary.
that's actually pretty tall.
I've got big feet too. That way I don't fall over.
There you go. I'm 5'11". How did you meet your husband?
Um, I was working at a coffee shop as a teenager, and he came in to get coffee with his brother.
Mm-hmm.
And then they sat down at the table, and he took the kids' crayon activity book and crayons and drew a really angry, screaming robot on the page in crayon. And I was just I was intrigued, and then
You're sold.
and that was the start. Yeah, yeah. He didn't even like talk to me. He ordered
What?
coffee. That was it. I was like, oh, this
What's
is
this
so
robot?
cool.
I need to know more.
I don't think we even have that picture anymore.
Damn.
Drew it. I saved it. I was like, that's mine. That's so cool. Yeah. Nope. I chased after him,
Hey, that's just
and I don't
sometimes.
regret it.
Yeah, sometimes life is just simple. You don't need like a crazy, story or like, oh man, he saved me and I was falling into an ocean or something. You're just like, oh man, he
Right.
was my Jack and I was Rose. Like you don't need like any crazy stories like that.
I gave him coffee. He drew an angry robot. The rest is
Yeah.
history.
Sometimes it's just as simple as that. That's all it takes to pick
Mhm.
up girls. Yeah. I'm gonna take your husband's advice. I'm gonna go to coffee shops and draw robots. And if one girl, notices and I know it's the one.
I mean, honestly, that's not the worst approach in some ways because finding somebody who has a similar interest to you is always good.
Yeah. Where did you find you can create your own games?
Where did you find that you can create your own game?
Yeah.
I don't quite understand the question. Where
Same.
did I find that I could create?
When? I guess. I don't...
Legend of Dungeon came out like it was the very first thing we put out on Steam. That was in 2013,
That was a while
actually.
ago.
So that's like our first, yeah, yeah. Um, it is weirdly long ago. I don't know how it's been so long.
7 years.
But that was yeah, that was our oops, that was our first like big project together, and it was really fun. And we use Unity, if that's a question they're asking.
Oh, is your husband
And
Captain and Robot? Captain
yeah,
Robot?
Captain Robot.
He says, why would I not remember it? His name is literally a robot. His name... the iron...
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
it all makes sense now. He drew that robot, and then, it just... all makes sense now. First game was
Mhm.
Never Daunt, or Never on Ant. Never Daunt?
Yeah, Never Dawn.
Never Daunt.
Yeah. Yeah, that was coded in if you know anything about programming, that was coded in Visual Basic
Okay.
and is an MMO. And
Oh.
we took it down because it wasn't it was very broken. But it was kind of it's still Robot Stream game kind
Mm-hmm.
of. It's like a huge MMO type space where you could actually like take control of little areas and build whatever you wanted to and it's just really cool. It actually was really fun.
Okay.
Maybe someday we'll make a new version with VR. Ooh, or something.
Hey, you never know. I have a interesting question. Do you do anything in VRChat in terms of like world creation? Like maybe when Udon comes out or Unity 2018, you can make some of your own games or something in VRChat technically.
Yeah, robots made a couple of little worlds in the game. I don't think many of them are public. I used to have a whole Space Cat Command, a space station that you
Mm-hmm.
could go on, and you could still get to it from one of Wise World and the cupboard, but
Oh, you need to
it's
check that out.
technically not in the public. It's not in the
Yeah, yeah.
public space currently because I think little space cadet avatars that you could get there aren't like up to snuff anymore. They're
Oh,
too fancy.
optimized. I get what you're saying.
And so it got yeah, you have too many shaders or something. I don't know.
What's your first game you bought for yourself?
The first what I bought for myself?
Game, like video game?
First game. So, hmm. So my family, like, went, like, we've always, like, kind of lived back in time, if that makes sense. Like, all the technology we had was from years before. Like, we had, like, an ancient Apple IIe computer. Like, kind of has, like, the big 5-inch floppy disks
Nice.
that you put in, that kind of stuff. And so I remember saving up my money to buy a very used PlayStation, like the PlayStation 1.
Yeah,
And I had to buy a little TV for it too because we didn't have
yeah.
anything like that. and so I don't actually know the exact first game I got, but I know that I had this fighting game called Bloody Roar 2, which was really fun.
There you go. I think the first game I ever bought for
Mentioning.
myself was probably on a computer. It was probably Steam more recently, like Gary's Mod, when I was like 10 or 12. Because my parents would always buy the games for me because I didn't have any money. But until like it was my
Um,
birthday, until I was like 10 or something, my mom would give me these because she never trusted me for a credit card. Because like, why would you give a 10-year-old your credit card, right? Like that's
oh
not good.
yeah,
That's not good.
yeah.
So she would buy me these
Don't
prepaid
do that.
cards, and it would only have like 20 bucks on it or 30 bucks, and then I would go to Steam, and then I would buy Steam games. And one of the first games I bought, I think, was Garry's
Mm,
Mod, and
that makes sense. It's a cool game.
yeah. I think Garry's Mod is still very popular, and I highly still recommend it. It's like 15
Hmm.
years old now, but like it still has so much potential, and I think Gary Newman, the guy who made it, is going to make Garry's Mod 2 when Source 2 comes
Oh,
out
really? Awesome.
after Half-Life Alyx comes out. So that's within a couple weeks.
Mm,
So soon,
yeah.
soon we'll have Garry's Mod 2.
Soon.
Well, I would
That'd be
say I think
awesome.
it would take him a couple of years to design or whatever, but he made
Mm.
Rust, so soon, eventually, we'll have Garry's Mod 2, and I think it'll be very nice with all the updated physics and all that stuff. And it could be in VR too, you never know.
Cool.
Robot says they were public but got eaten by an update. He's talking about the avatars they
Oh,
had. Yeah.
the avatar. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of my old avatars got eaten or like don't work anymore, so I know what he's talking about. Yeah, it sucks when VRChat updates and like if you don't like I guess like redo your or re-upload the avatars, sometimes they just break and don't work anymore. So
Yeah. It's sad.
Spork is the
It is what
nicest
it
player
is.
on VRChat, 100%. That's what Gormunder said. You know who Gormunder is?
Oh, Gormunder's here. Oh my
Yeah,
gosh. I haven't seen Gormunder in forever.
he's another
I
role
didn't
player. You know.
even met you.
What just got in here. So sorry if this was already brought up. Spork, what is your favorite song to play in VR chat? Also, thanks for the postcard. Every time you stream, I'm at work sadly, like now.
Ooh.
Your favorite song to play?
Oh my gosh. Someone else. I haven't seen them in forever. Oh gosh. I don't really. I'm one of those weird people who doesn't really do favorites very naturally.
Okay.
Like I don't have really a favorite color or a favorite food or a favorite band or anything like that. But one of my favorite songs to play, specifically for people who've never heard the song before,
Mm-hmm.
is Paperclips. It's really fun to tell someone, here's a love song that's going to potentially give you, an existential crisis. and it's always just fun to hear their reactions while I play.
It's nice though. I mean, I always want to have an existential
Mm.
crisis, you know?
Yeah, you don't get those every day.
Exactly.
Here I am
Yes.
providing those unique experiences.
Sporky is the nicest even when people make her mad. She almost always got a real great attitude and a loving atmosphere around her.
Ooh,
Gladys.
I like
So,
this. Yes,
yeah.
compliment me more. What was happening? I'm not used to people saying nice things like about me while like.
I mean, it's just the way it is, you know. Like a lot of people have a lot of these like hip trackers dying, but a lot of these people don't
Mhm.
have when people are outside the box, right? Like when they don't know anything about VR chat, and when people look at VR chat for the first time, a lot of them get this negative reaction. They're like, "Oh, that's the game where bad stuff happens," or "Oh, I don't want to go there." But when you like
Mm.
meet someone like you, who's very, very nice attitude, just wants to play music, have a good time, go to Publix, doesn't, you don't like the whole fact that like people are negative, but you still go there because you want to have fun and meet people. That's what gives me hope.
Yeah.
It's the hope.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
It's
There's
nice.
a lot more really positive, awesome people out there than a lot of the outside of VR chat people think
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
Mm,
I just think a lot of
a lot.
people just think there's a lot of negativity. It's not always like that, you know? Not every community is negative. Like there's yes, typically drama and negativity always gets higher up on the totem pole, right? Like that's the one
It gets
bad
more
thing.
airtime,
Yeah,
if
I
you
guess
will.
yeah, I guess yeah, that would be the best way to describe it. More airtime when like if you were to like sing a song or something, like people are like, okay, that's cool, but like when it's like, oh, did you hear about this guy and how he broke the game and very toxic? Everyone cares about
Mm.
that, but the moment when like someone's just being wholesome, they're like, oh, whatever, dude. Like it's always drama, you know.
W-
People can more care
One of
about that.
yeah, one of the things that I love about Public Worlds is when I do play something and someone does stop
Mhm.
and pay attention, it's really neat because sometimes they're like running around memeing like crazy, and then all of
Mhm.
a sudden they notice that I'm playing and they'll like circle around and they like circle around again and stop. It's like they have to like process that they're like going outside of memeing and just listening to something,
Mhm.
and it's really neat. It's also kind of neat to see how a room can change with just the added level of just being good or like doing like with the music.
Yeah.
Almost every time I join on a server, like I like to join on once I have just a few people,
Mhm.
and then I play when someone else joins in. In the worlds where I'm greeting everybody personally, they're so cozy by the end of it. There's just so many people just hanging out and having fun, pretending to like, serve drinks or something and like all that kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
like
And it's
improv role
just,
play. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, they're just having fun and being pleasant to each other. Imagine
I know.
that.
You don't have to be always negative, you know, when you play VRChat or online games. You can just be nice and have a good time. You know,
I think
treat others the way you want to be treated. You know.
Yeah, I think one of the things that I've seen a lot of isn't necessarily that people want to be negative, is that they want to be acknowledged. They want people to see that they
Ah.
exist. They want to be noticed.
Yeah.
And those are really, really valid feelings. And the trouble is that they're not necessarily equipped with a way to be noticed and to feel like acknowledged without the memes and the more negative
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
stuff.
Because it's easier to get a
So
reaction out of people if you be like really negative. Like everyone's like, "Oh, I hate you. What are you doing?" Like, but
mhm.
it takes time to like actually formulate a plan to like, okay, I'm gonna dance, I'm gonna sing, I'm gonna tell jokes, I'm gonna role play at this bar or something like that.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it takes a little more patience.
Sure.
I think on this note, we're gonna be wrapping it up here because we've been going for over an hour now. It's a great interview, you know. It's always a good interview if we're going overtime, you know. So,
Yay!
so what we want to do is obviously the camera's on you. So if you want to tell anybody about your like anything you're working on, you know, your Twitter, your YouTube, anything you got going on your Twitch. So,
Oh, oh gosh. Yeah, if you just search Spork of Love, I should come up on YouTube and on Twitch. I have a Twitter. It's also Spork of Love. Um, I don't do anything super well, but I do it a lot ish, except YouTube. I do that poorly by not doing stuff. Yay. Um, but yeah, feel free to follow me anywhere you want to follow me. Don't follow me if you want to. I'm working on making an album of original songs. It's really taking a long time and it's harder than I thought, but someday that'll be out. So if that sounds interesting, if you want to hear paper clips sounding mildly professional, maybe, possibly, or various other songs, just follow my Twitter or something.
is it on
I don't know. I don't
Spotify
know.
or SoundCloud?
I think I do have a SoundCloud, and I think it has like a rough version up. But I'm working on like I've
Okay,
been
yeah, yeah.
slowly converting my room into like a actual like sound recording space,
Okay.
so that I can do the professional ish stuff.
Mhm.
But yeah, spay and neuter your pets and love each other. That's more important than following me. So.
All right then. All right. Well, on that note, thank you so much for stopping by, Spork of Love. I really do appreciate you know stopping by and coming here for my interview. I'm again your host, Iwan Rebel. It's my talk show, Late Night with Rebel, and yeah, thank you so much. Um, before you go, there's one last thing that I always do with my guests. We take a picture of each other. If you've, when you first spawn in
Oh.
there, there's a lot of pictures of many other guests. So I like
Mhm.
you to be on that wall. So how I do is I take a picture. So one
Cool.
second here, while I change my camera around here. There we go. Disable it, re-enable it, boom, and then if you
Oh.
want to stand up, or I can move because I have full body, so I can just like
Oh,
I know that I
can I stand on anything?
no,
Oh, nope.
I can just go down. You know what I mean? I got
Mhm.
full body, so I can sort of go any angle. So, are you ready? Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
we'll take a couple. Don't worry. Hey, one more. Yeah, I got it. Yeah.